is a fatal four-way match. Making his way to the ring from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Guys, there is so much intrigue here heading into this fatal four-way match. That's what you get, Michael, when you have four superstars who can legitimately win this thing.
From Pennsylvania, weighing in at 220 pounds, Campbell Cruz. S.A. Rivera. From New York, weighing in at 220 pounds, C.
Flying forearm on the mark. Oh, using the knee as a weapon. In a bad way. Might have shaped too much for him. Anybody's match, Cole, but he's got to be down in the ring all at the same time, anywhere they want. It's been a throwaway match. One thing with stipulation, it could be. We can also see a fatal four-way tag finish down. Two.
To the desk. All right, Mr. Mighty. Let's see what adventures await. What will come out of the mighty pencil on To the Mighty Day for Mr. Mighty's adventures? What villains will you take down with your mightiness? Alright, Mr. Mighty. We'll pick this up later. Duty calls. The trash will not take itself out.
Ahoy! It's Dave Landau, and you're watching Andy Smith, the coolest comic book creator around. Just ask his mom. I have. All hail Comicsgate! Bam! Bam! Bam!
Shut up and sit down.
Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. I have a different camera position because I'm using a different camera because I'm going to have my other camera facing down on my desk so we can go over this comic. Like the description title shows, Andy Smith here, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry, streaming live to your home or workplace. I won't tell your boss. Just make sure to cover the screen if you're in a cubicle and somebody comes walking by and they're being nosy. So let's get to it. I am going to switch the camera around. Let's see. I could add a second camera, but there's no reason to see me while we're doing this. So I'll just switch it around. Let's make sure this works. It does. Booyah. So guys, I just picked up this funny book without the cover, just like you see it here. For actually, it was free. I take it back. I went to this comic shop in town I never knew about, and he had a box of free stuff. So I was like looking through it, and I'm like, "What? I've got this in a reprint, but for free, I'll take it." Neal Adams Deadman, inked by George Russo, I believe. And this came out. Let me look back real quick. November 67, 2 years before I was born. This book came out. And I actually find it kind of charming in a way. One, I like the flat color. Flat colors never bothered me. But two, I kind of like the inking. I can see what Neal's pencils looked like back in the day. And because I've seen lots of his pencils. And I kind of like this slap down, quick type of inking. George just getting in there. You can tell it looks like it's outlining with a pen, and then he gets his brush out and just slaps in uh, the black areas with his brush. So I don't mind this, to be honest. I think when I first saw it years ago, I was like, oh, what happened to Neal Adams? Apex Comics, Marcus Keller Group, Praetor 7, hello. I was like, what happened to Neal Adams? But I don't know, looking back at it now, I gotta admit, I kind of like it. It's kind of like the 2 issues of Teen Titans that Neal did that Nick Cardy inked. It wasn't a perfect team up, but I don't mind it. So when this was reprinted, I don't want to go through the whole thing like this because we can look at the reprint together. So this big, the Deadman collection, thick hardcover book, reprints all the Deadman stuff. Strange from what was this stupid thing called? Strange Adventures. I won't say Strange Tales. And Deadman and stuff. Brave and the Bold. This came out, I don't know, probably a decade ago in a slipcase. I still have the slipcase. I bought the Green Lantern one too. And because I own all the Green Lantern comics and other reprints of Neal's Green Lantern stuff, like a dummy, I got rid of the Green Lantern one, which was in a slipcase. Kind of stupid of me. I read that they're putting another one out of Neal's Green Lantern stuff, so I probably will end up picking that one up. But this reprints, let's get to it. The work right here. Oh, look at this nice side by side we can do. And Neal, for this reprint, went in on this particular job, recolored it, even relettered it. Yeah, relettered it too. Wow. And is it better? Is it worse? Should it been left alone? Let's find out. One, I like this coloring on the original with the owls and stuff knocked out into a green. They're kind of like an afterthought. They're just a framing effect anyhow. And you're supposed to be really looking at Deadman. With the new one, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of drawn more to the owls. And that's not really the point. Now, I mean, do I like the Deadman figure? Of course I like the Deadman figure. I like Neal's inking on his own work. That's not the point. The point is this is a reprint, and if you're buying it warts and all. See what I did there? Knowing it's a reprint. Let's go to the next page, page 2. Oh, okay, this will be a little funky here. Actually, I'll just do this. I mean, I got the book for free. Who cares if I fold it back on itself? Am I right or am I right? I'm right. Here we go. I mean, just major differences here going on. Prater says he's not sure how he feels about it. Deadman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Batman, Teen Titan, Spectre, Phantom Stranger, Neal Adams interior art. That is true. I mean, just look at like, yeah, this is current Neal, or when this came out 10 years ago, inking wise. And, it looks like he pretty much just, I don't know, I doubt he had the originals. So he probably took these files, threw them on a light box. Man, I had no idea this thing was relettered too. That just seems like a lot of work. And then the coloring, I don't know if it's computer. It almost looks like it's marker coloring scanned in. This is Strange Adventures number. Now I gotta look back. Strange Adventures number 206 is the original. So anyhow, I like the greens in that second panel and the yellows. It's what they call theatrical lighting. It isn't real lighting. It's comic books. You don't have to do real lighting. But with Neal, he went in and he did more of just realistic lighting, which I just don't think is necessary. I like how this face is knocked out in purple right here. I think if anything, it would have been interesting to see Neal stick to, if he's going to re-ink it, stick to the original coloring, with his re-inks. Because let's be real. I mean, yes, you look at this face, and while, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, this face is, I think, inking wise, the color distracts me. I'll be honest. I think inking wise, it is better. I mean, you look at this figure of Deadman here compared to the original ink job here, and yeah, I'll take the re-ink job uh, any day of the week. And how's the video for you guys? I'm looking up at my screen, and it looks like my camera is trying to focus in and out. I wonder if there's a way I can turn off autofocus here, because it looks like it's just trying to fluctuate with the focus, and I'm not a. No, I guess there's not much I can do about it, unfortunately. But you look at these faces here at the bottom, and Project Neosis. What is up? And yeah, I said it wrong. I always do. I will. I need a recording of words to listen to. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm torn. I do like the original coloring better. Let's go to this next page here. Yeah, I mean, sorry, it's kind of hard to do like this. I thought about doing a pre-record like my book looks, but I thought I'd just go live instead. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake. If you look at the first panel, yeah, the drawing's better. Definitely that dude in the foreground, the bald guy in the foreground, I mean, much better. I mean, those inks on that side of that head are just like, oh, what's going on? So it's definitely better. But then Neal, it's darkened out, and I really do think this is printed for marker coloring, which I don't have a problem with at all. I think the modern version, there is probably some airbrush, but just looking at it, it looks like Neal's marker technique. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was literally just shot from the markers, This, obviously, I like this better. I like most of the inking stuff better. I still would have been fine if it was just reprinted, normally like this. Because I will page through the rest of the book, and you will see that I believe the rest of the book he didn't touch. Or if he did, he might have touched a face here and there, which I still don't really agree with, but hey, whatever. Yeah, this is a marker, which I think is kind of bold that instead of Neal doing these markers as color guides for somebody to go back in and do computer work coloring, they just printed from the markers. So I give him credit for that. Oh, God, did you guys hear that pop? That was my elbow, in case you were wondering. I just want to see something here on, let's see, where is it? I just want to see how the video looks here. Let's see, live. Yeah, it's kind of going, I mean, I'm looking at it on YouTube, and for some reason it's focusing in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. That is bothering the crap out of me. I'm going to see if I can fix that. So while I fix that, let me do something else here. Let's see. I'm going to go back to this camera real quick. Yes, it's a dramatic up view of your host. I got to turn on my other monitor. Hopefully this doesn't screw tons of stuff up. Andy popped himself while reading his Deadman book. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let me see if I can fix this camera so it doesn't do this autofocus crap that it was doing, because it might not have been bugging you guys, but it was bugging me. So let's see here. Had to open up another window here on screen. Bear with me. I love it. Says camera's not available. It's available. Just show it, would you please? Restart. I don't need to restart it. It's available. I know it is. Maybe it's because I'm not using it right now. Come on. Let's see if this makes it available. Going behind the scenes. See, this is the program I use. Oh, let's see if I can do this. Frame rate, exposure, field of view, advanced settings. Nothing about, autofocus. There. Let's see how that works. Okay. Let's go back to here. Hello. Close that. Turn that off. Get back to the camera that everybody wants to see, the artwork, and not my face. There we go. All right, let's see if the autofocus has stopped. All right, it looks like it has. So, with that in mind, turning the page, going to another page, I think it's just over colored is the problem. The work is just over colored. Like I said, I like the new drawing, but look at her face. Her face just looks really splotchy, and it just should not look like that. The figure in panel 2, a dead man, walking and stuff. Yeah, it's better drawn. Of course it is. And like I said, it almost looks like, well, I'm trying to see. Oh no, he did more. I was thinking maybe he just took the silhouette. Well, I think he might have. I mean, at this point, Neal was so good, he probably could have just thrown this original on a light box and then taken a pen out, but he might have had to pencil some first. But yeah, it's just oversaturated, to it. This dude looks like Guy Gardner in that last panel of the page in the redraw. I mean, don't get me wrong, the inker on the old stuff definitely lost stuff for sure in it. You know, it could have been inked much better back then as well. Wait, what am I doing here? Hold on. Oh. Ugh. Come on. This is what happens when your desk is not flat and you struggle with the incline. You know, you look at that bottom panel face, just do that right next to each other. I mean, her eyes are definitely wonky in that original ink job. The face is much better drawn. I still can't believe they relettered it too. That's crazy. Yeah, the face is drawn much better, but this is marker. Yeah. I do love Neal's marker technique. I remember talking to him one time at a show and saying, Neal, I would love it if you did a book just showing how to do your advertising marker techniques. In the first, it's funny, in the original here, What's Up, Dark Side? It almost looks like Lucille Ball. I mean, she was very popular back then in 1967. Doesn't look like her here at all. Definitely looks like Lucille Ball to me, and in that panel. Oh, this is, yeah. So this was a short story. So luckily, if this was a 22-page regular size book, I bet Neal wouldn't have redrawn it. But I don't think I've ever seen a recoloring job of older work that I've liked. I know. I don't think I have either. You know, comparing these first two panels or first panel, actually, he did a great thing. He made it into two panels, but it's actually one. He's using the panel gutter as the wall that Deadman's walking through. And yeah, once again, I think the Deadman figure looks cool, but I'd rather have seen it in flat color. Yeah, I mean, they might recolor it because they can. I think they're doing it more for a modern audience because, you know, the modern audience is used to seeing colors like this. So I think they think, you know, if we color it that way, um, you know, maybe we'll get more sales. 12 page Strange Adventure Deadman tale. Well, uh, there's more in this book. Uh, yeah, the newer inks, and like, look, even in the third panel, he added a background, and I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it clutters things up, but I also don't think the background was necessary to add either. There's a reason you don't draw backgrounds. He added the background in the fourth panel. That one I can see kind of makes sense because she is leaning on this safe. The one thing about this panel, though, with no background is you can actually see the safe. She's is this the 1986? No. This is from 1967. It's one of Deadman's first appearances, I believe. So on the original, you can actually see the safe. On the reprint, the safe almost gets lost. So definitely not a big fan there. It's weird too because, oh, never mind. He did give her the billowy whatever pants on the original. I don't know what you call those type of pants. But in the second panel, he really blew out the side of the pants there compared to here. He didn't draw them at all. Or maybe George the inker didn't ink them. Not sure. And he once again added a background to it, which is nice. I mean, I don't think it was necessary, but it's nice. And in the last panel, you know, like I said, I think the coloring is just makes it harder to look through. And then we've got, you know, the last two panels. here. They don't do it anymore, but back in the day, they would run half-page ads for stuff. Here, they just filled it up. This is behind the scenes with Carmine talking about Deadman and stuff. Oh, his Batman stuff is legendary. And I've got the Batman reprints that DC put out where Neal redrew faces and recolored stuff. But I was actually able to find 4 trade paperbacks collecting a lot of his Batman work, and they're all in black and white. And there's no redrawing in those trade paperbacks. The trade paperbacks are like 20 years old, but they're all black and white. Maybe I'll show you those too. You know, I love this figure, to redraw this figure much better. The anatomy is much better. But here, and it's really hard to tell because the recoloring here, I mean, look, this jacket looks like a leather bomber jacket for sure. And the head's redrawn better. But the sky is so busy. And then here, the thing is, I like this jacket. I like the inking on it. I like the simplicity of it. And it's hard to see it in this drawing because the coloring is so dark. You can't even really see the line work. But I have a feeling that I like the inking on this jacket more than this one. Same goes for this jacket and this jacket. What else is in this book? Because that is, oh wait, maybe it's not the last page of the story. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's not the last page of the story. I thought it was for some dumb reason. Nope, let's keep going. Turn the page. Turn that page. You know, Neal did a better job, obviously. Darkside says, I have a lot of continuity comics from Adams Studio, but it was very hard to keep up. Yeah, I've got most of them. I think I have probably 80% of continuity stuff. I collected Neal's newest Deadman run because it's kind of connected to Batman Odyssey, which I also collected and love. Yeah, I got the new Deadman miniseries too. I thought it was cool. I guess Neal started at DC, went to Marvel. Yes, he did. So here we go, more recoloring and stuff. Just, I like the flat color in the background. I mean, the motorcycle, I don't know what Neal penciled. I'd love to have seen the pencils for this job to see what George was working with. But obviously the motorcycle's drawn better. But it also looks like a tiny motorcycle. I mean, all the stuff he's fixing, and it still looks like a tiny motorcycle here. At least he kept the lighting that he was going with and stuff. I mean, this boot gets lost. The bottom of his boot, sole of his shoe, whatever, gets lost in the leg. Here it pops out nicely. Just little stuff like that. Oh, Samurai, whatever. I dug it. Here we go, side by side. Do it this way. With old side by side. I'm still liking the original jacket, brown jacket this dude's riding. I got to admit, I think it's cooler. Yeah, even with the inking, like if I never saw these redraws, I'd be like, yeah, I don't mind this. I really would love to have seen these redraws with flat color or maybe just a light and dark color, very subtle, not the amount that is going on here. It's harder for me to read than this original stuff. You know, he put a background into this last panel. Not sure it was necessary. Oh yeah, a lot of this stuff just has kind of a messy feel. Oh, Samurai 6, pencils by Samuel Hallbaker. I don't know if I have that one. I've got the first few, which we know are by Mark Beecham. And then, like, just look out. Like, it's so much easier to read the original book with their original coloring. Look at the left side. I can tell what's going on. They're coming at us. They're backlit. But did they have to be backlit? I don't think they had to be backlit. They're not backlit in this first one. In fact, in this first one, it looks like it's nighttime because of the purple in the sky. And on the left side, he's got more of a sunset going on with the orange. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else added. Once again, really amazed that it was relettered too. Yeah, oh, I love Mark Beecham's work. Mark Beecham did a book called Siphons a long time ago, came out in full color, and I have the miniseries Siphons by Mark Beecham, but then it was reprinted by Image as a trade paperback in black and white, and I love that book so much because Mark's line work and brushwork is great. So here we go again, that first panel. No background. I mean, he didn't do a background in the first panel on the new page. Actually, he did. He had to add a line on the road, it looks like. Not sure it was necessary. I mean, you can barely see these people's faces on the printed one, the redo version. Just everything is a lot darker. I mean, that's the thing. When you're doing this much black for the shadows, and like this last panel, you get the idea that he's in shadow. But then when you color it really dark as well, I mean, like here, they knocked out the gun in green to knock it out and push it in the foreground. Here, it's colored, with the proper colors of the brown and the silver or whatever, and then he put like a blue over it. Sorry, I mean, I like the old inks way better than the painted look. Right. Well, we're talking, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. But then like here, this first panel, I do like the first panel on the redo a little bit better. I don't think it's overdone. And even like the redo of the second panel, the depth works better in it. I mean, I understand, like, it's so on the left-hand side, the redo revised colors, it's definitely colored more realistic. Like, if you look at panel 3 where the door gets slammed, you're like, oh, the dude's walls are painted really weird orange, you know. But in the left-hand side, the recolors, you're like, oh yeah, I could see walls painted that color. But there's just something about the right-hand side, the color harmony behind it, that orange works, and I don't even pay attention to like, oh, those are walls back there. And then, panel 4, you added a background and such. Oop, gotta turn the page here. Man, I wish Hall Baker did more comics too. He did a Megaton story, I believe. I remember buying as a kid. Yeah, Squire bought. I think you're right. There's something a little more dramatic about the stark contrast in the inks and flat colors. Maybe less realistic, but more expressive. Yeah, and that's why I kind of like the inking on it, because it's just really slapped down with the brush, and you can tell he's using a pen as well. I mean, the left-hand side with the more rendering and stuff that Neal's doing, it's definitely more realistic, but I don't know if it works. Like I said, I would love to have seen Neal's re-inking done with these original colors, just to see how that would have worked. Megaton number 5. I believe that is. I don't know the number, but I think that's right. I do like this figure better in the first panel. But man, look how busy that floor is compared to the original book. The original book, it's like you got this faint purplish floor, and then in the recolor, it's just like, oh, it's wood, it's shiny wood, just so much going on in it. I think the thing with Neil is when he was doing this is he's like, I'm going to make the drawing better. I'll do whatever it takes. This drawing is garbage. I can draw so much better. I'm going to make the drawing better. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to do the coloring better too. And I just don't think that it worked that well. Yes, the drawing is better, but the coloring isn't. I love the simplicity of this guy's suit right here compared to all these wrinkles that are now drawn in. I try to collect whatever Hall Baker has illustrating in comics and cover art. I'm going to say it's probably not that much, so it probably shouldn't be that hard to collect. Once again, I think there's something to be said for simplicity. Like the thing is here, this is almost, some of these panels kind of give you the vibe of like, what if Alex Toth inked Neal Adams? And that's kind of what you get from some of this stuff in their original compared to, what Neal's doing. Oh yeah, big punch in the face. By the way, this copy that I got for free with no cover will be going on the spin rack, of course. Now there's, here's the other thing. These cars are so far in the distance that I don't mind that little bit of detail on the bottom of that car. But you look at this car and he drew like everything that's on the bottom of a car. But dude, it's so far away. It's just not necessary. Again, unnecessary details. Now, I do like this background not being orange because I look at this and I don't even know what it is. So I have to read the text to see like what the hell's going on there. Where here I know he's trying to break into like a door and stuff. So I like that. These faces are drawn much better. Oh, look at that. He broke the panel border there. This is a lot easier to read to me once again than this is. But if I never saw, it goes both ways. If I never saw the redo, I was fine with this. But if I never saw this and I only saw this redo, I might be like, whoa, this is awesome. You can really get a sense in this panel here, the redrawing and the amount of pen work that Neal's doing here. I don't know if this is when he switched over to brush pens or not. I do like this line work and such, and I do like the boots. The boots look a lot better. I hate the fact that he broke the boot out of the panel border here because because this dude is in the foreground and doesn't break the panel border, so I wouldn't have broke it with the boot to keep it pushed into the background. I like the fingers more here, the rendering and stuff. I do like that. So oh, so he only did 3 issues of Nomad. I would have bought those, but I hated the way Nomad looked wearing a trench coat and stuff. I was like, oh. Okay, so this is the last page of the story. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a half page, so Neal can only do it half page. Here, of course, he can do something more designy and bring this arm down so it doesn't create that weirdness there. So yeah, this is obviously cooler than that is. Yeah, the faces are more well drawn. He added this background, this hallway back here at the lights and stuff. They are this background I think is nice because they are walking out of a building, so it sets the scene. I mean, here I don't even know what his arm's on. So Neal set it on some architecture. So I think that's cool. Now, I would have continued this architecture down. I don't know why he stopped the architecture but continued his body. That's weird. So, yeah, I mean, those are that. What else is in this book? Now I'm curious to see what else is in this book. Unless that was it. 'Cause they did. Oh no, just has a backup story. So this is nice. I never had this original comic before. I'm not sure who drew this backup story. It doesn't look like it looks like Toth in certain areas, but that doesn't really ring like Toth to me. So not quite sure who did it, but uh, like I said, some of the stuff looks like Toth, but then some of it does not. And God forbid they do a credit. So what I want to see also in this, I want to see if Neal explains why he did it. So preface by Neal Adams. So it's called "Why I Chose Deadman as My Project on My Summer Vacation." You guys probably can't see it, so I'll leave it so you can read it. But he says, I was still in my 20s and had already had several careers when I first showed up at DC Comics and met the quiet Carmine Infantino. From the age of 13 or 14, I was an unabashed Carmine Infantino fan. I especially enjoyed his art when he did his own inking because it was only then that I would see in it the influence of fine art movements from the Impressionists to the Surrealists to the Bohas and more. Carmine inked by anyone but Carmine was, well, not Carmine. And I agree with that. I didn't discover Carmine's own inking until I got this art book that Tomorrow's put out about Carmine and Carmine's own inking. He inked with a pen. It was scritchy. It was scratchy. It was just so cool. Anyhow, one day after I'd begun to work at DC, Carmine was penciling a new character created by him and Arnold Drake. It was a silly character that they called Deadman. The guy was dead, man. But Carmine's pencils, that was the treat. Make copies before they're ruined, I thought. Then Carmine told me they were going to be inked by a guy who intended to keep the flavor of the pencils. A guy named George Russo's. Good luck, I thought. Shock of shocks, he did keep the flavor of the pencils. Lord, not since Powwow Smith 10 or 15 years before. George added something of his own to be sure, but I could see the real Carmine. Well, that sent a message to Marvel. DC was waking up. Then everything happened at once. Tons of work, covers, etc. were loaded on me. The new blood. Carmine was made DC's art director, and while he would still do work on some things, he couldn't do penciling for Deadman anymore. Oh no, a beginning and an ending on the same day. Carmine's solution had me take over Deadman. Did it worry me? No. I was starting to understand the character of Deadman, and almost immediately I started to form a rationale for him in my mind. Of course, I would have to find a way to transition Carmine's look into my own. We all felt George Russo's was the answer. He'd keep the style consistent, which he did, by the way. So I began work and generally tried to keep Carmine's characters without adopting his style. Big mistake. George's inks came in and my heart sank. He had done exactly what he was asked to do. He had carried on the style of the first book. It was I who had screwed up. I had given him realistic pencils instead of stylized pencils, and George had stylized them. What's that they say about good intentions? So there you go. That kind of shows it. George was supposed to carry the look through so it wasn't jarring, because even Neal stuff, he already did work for DC at this time period, and it didn't look like this. What to do? I knew I couldn't do Carmine's style and meet a grueling deadline, so I opted to continue to do my more realistic style. I also decided that I would ink the series myself, and so I did. all the way to the end. The only missing link was that I hadn't inked my first story, and now I finally corrected that for this special reprint edition. Yeah, should have stuck with just the inking. As much as I like Neal's coloring, I would have liked to have seen this with a more original color palette. Anyhow, that was my interjection. As for the Deadman stories, well, first you got to know the Deadman is a series that was never meant to be, an accident looking for a place to happen. The guy's dead. He talks to semi-Eastern gods. All right, let me just see if he talks more about any of the art. Blah, 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 canceled, reprint, blah, blah, blah. Did I have an ongoing story? Of course, he says he did. Please enjoy these early stories. Enjoy the re-inking on my first story, but also enjoy the stylization of George on Carmine. And Jack Miller, Dick Giordano, Bob Kanigher, and of course, Arnold Drake, the co-creator. All right, so this job actually shows Carmine's. I should have started with this. So this is 205. This is the issue drawn by Carmine. Inked by George Russos. And it works, but this is Carmine. This is not Neal. So yes, it works. I love that. I love the way Carmine draws a figure. There's just something about it. Carmine's inks are still, to me, heads and tails above this. But, I thought George did a good job. I love the stylization and the cloak falling. What's up, Zaid? I love, like, the simplicity of the top of the tent, the people back there and such. So yeah, so this is the original first story, issue 205. I should see what a nice issue of 206 goes for. And then we get to 206 and we get to Neal's redraw stuff. Let's just go. I'm not going to go through every page of this. This is a thick freaking book. So 207, Neal starts inking it himself, and huge difference when he starts inking it himself. As you can see, Neal was using a dip pen. I love all the faces in the background. It's like if you were a friend of Neal, you could get onto a cover. And Neal did not recolor any of this. So, guys, why couldn't he have just colored his re-inks on that first story like this? Now, he didn't color this stuff either. Somebody else did. But still, look at it. I love this flat color. I love the inking Neal did. And you can see how Klaus was influenced by Neal with his inking style. I mean, look at this. I love these bold ink lines he was doing. And if you go look at Stan Drake on The Heart of Juliet Jones, you can see where Neal picked up a lot of his inking technique from Stan Drake. But just look at these colors. They work great. Right? Weird to recolor some of it, but not all of it. Right? I mean, how true is that? Let's see. Just trying to. And okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah, why recolor some of it, not all of it? I love this. So much. Just, I don't know, guys. I love good flat coloring because all the see, that's the problem with the recolor. He's doing all that coloring, but he's doing all the rendering as well. And he should have just not done that much rendering if he was going to try and do it that much in color. The flat show off his line work and inks better. Yes. 100% yes. Look at this face. This is weird, though. Deadman is still standing behind this guy. His fist should not be over. flapping like that. That's weird. God, I love these inks so much. I'm going to skip pages here. Love, yeah. I mean, I love Neal Adams' work. Yeah, the rendering of the colors almost ruined the inks. It totally does. There was a story about a 50-foot Native American in the heart of Juliet Jones. That I don't remember. Now, I don't own all the reprints of Juliet Jones. I only own a couple, of course, in black and white, because they were newspaper strips, and I love those. This is just great stuff. Love it. Typical Neal running pose. Look at this. Nice theatrical. You know, you focus. You got green, purple, blue. You got green that has a blue tint. So all cool colors in the foreground, warm colors in the background. You focus right on Deadman there. Just great stuff. I will say I was never a fan of this Zipatone in the foreground he used. But I guess it was the way around trying to do two tones of color. I don't know. Strange Adventures. What number is this one? Doesn't say on that cover reprint. See this, I don't have this issue, but I don't know if that was colored like that originally, because there's a few different tones of color in that face, but it still works really well. And I mean, come on, that looks just like Commissioner Gordon. I love this. Like if Neal redid this, he would have put a background back there. And what's the point? Doesn't need one. You know? 208. Yeah. Makes sense. 8 does come after 7. Thank you. See, I bet Neal would have colored this guy if this was recolored back when he, you know, did this stuff. He probably would have made this more realistic. Oh, that's cool. Whole dollar. Love the shadow down here on the ground of the Ferris wheel. So Neal's doing pencils and inks. Look at this great 2-page spread. Just the depth in that. You're like, holy crap, I think I'm going to get vertigo from being up so high. All right, let's get, I know there's, oh man, that's so cool. Love this. Love this clothing. It just works. Once again, the flat color just works because he did all the line work and shadows with the inking. So you don't need really rendered up color. Always thought that was a cool figure. Deadman walking away. Oh, who did it? Who did it? I'm so pissed off. It's great. I don't know how easy it is to see, but I love this. Well, I love the yellow here to spotlight the little figure of Deadman and everything. But then drawing wise, he just stops drawing the buildings and just does a bunch of cross hatching and stuff. It's great. Look at that panel. That's just gorgeous. It's great stuff. That's such great shoes. I'm not going to lie, drawing shoes is not easy. Drawing shoes like this, not easy. Yeah, you were so used to like 6-panel grids and stuff like that, and then this stuff comes out from Neal, and you're like, what the? And I've always said this, looking at this stuff right now, this stuff is from 50, this is like 1968 probably, so 56 years ago. This stuff still holds up today. Today, this stuff still holds up to any comic book that comes out today. The storytelling, the camera angles, and it's 50-something years old. That is what I love about Neal's work. Still holds up. And I've got these, remember in the 80s, DC did reprints of Neal's Deadman stuff and these Baxter paper books. I still got those too. Still got those as well. But when this collection came out, I had to get it. That's a great figure. Love that. Love that woman's face right here. Just nice flat color. Way he does the nice eyelashes and stuff. Man. Here's the look at the camera. Neal always did crap like that. Love these faces in this panel. Oh, I've got the trade paperbacks in color of Neal's Green Lantern stuff. I've got the showcase, one of the last showcases they did that collects all of Neal's Green Lantern stuff. I've got all the actual printed first edition copies of Neal's Green Lantern stuff. And I used to have the hardcover just like this slipcase and sold it like a dumbass, but I saw they're putting it out again. So I'll be buying it again because I'm a dummy. Oh, it's your birthday, Hojo? Happy birthday to you. Happy effing birthday to you. It's funny how the woman's face barely has any rendering on it to show her youth and beauty. Yes. Yes. Great page flow here. Nice arc. You come from here. He's looking down to here. The dead man's figure flows you down to here. Kick. And then boom, punch. Oh, man. It's great stuff. And this is crazy. This line work. That's not Zipatone. That is ink line work Neal did. Oh, yeah. Love that. I remember that. Seeing that for the first time as a kid. All right. So what else? Let me just see if there's anything that really is, if there's anything in the back of this worthwhile. Okay, here's the Baxter paper reprints they did in the 80s, which Neal, these are blue line color. I don't think they're marker. And these even work better than I think that recoloring he did. Yeah, it just goes to a cover gallery. This was it. I had to hunt this issue down. I actually own this issue. It's from a Challengers of the Unknown. George Tuska did the original. I don't know if they show the Tuska stuff in here. Look at that. I mean, oh my God, this holds up today. Man. Well, I was so glad Neal came back. Batman Odyssey, the story might have been kind of weird, but the art was cool. And then the Superman story he did was cool. And of course, he did Deadman again. I was so hoping, this is George Tuska, by the way. I was so hoping he was going to do another Green Lantern story, but just didn't come back to Green Lantern. So George Tuska, if there's a Deadman omnibus coming out, I'd have to think that this would be in it, but I don't know. Love that face by George Tuska. Just so freaking cool. George is such a great artist. And then there was some Neal Adams stuff in Aquaman as well. These were in the back issues of Aquaman. This story, I wish you would have seen more Aquaman drawn by Neal, but it was mostly the dumb Ocean Master. So, oh, great shot here. Great foreshortening. Nice twist on the body from his hips to his shoulders. And Neal wasn't even on Green Lantern yet at this time. He was just warming up doing this stuff. Just beautiful work. Oh, look at that. The split lighting on him is another from another Aquaman issue. Big up the nose shot. And this is I think this is Brave and the Bold. I think I own this one because this is what I call a birthday book. It came out. Well, he didn't draw the Aquaman stories. Jim Aparo did the front. Neal just did the backup stories with Deadman. I believe this is from Brave and the Bold. Cover dated November 69. So I bought it because I was born in November 69. So yes, I know the book didn't actually hit the stands November, but it says November on the cover. And that's why I got it. Love the lighting on that guy in that panel right here. Just gorgeous. That's right, guys. Go check out KOR-DRATH, The Awakening. I'm trying to get to the cover of this one to see if this is the one that I'm thinking of. Oh, it is. Yeah. So there it is. November. Cover dated November 1969. What I call a birthday book. Freaking love this cover. You just, what a great figure. Batman coming at us, falling. He even did great when he did lighting on women's faces. So there you go, guys. I would highly recommend, if you're a Deadman fan, getting this book. I am going to, hello, everybody. I'm back. Boom, right here. This book, nice and thick, juicy. Is there a page count? 354 pages of goodness. Come out to the garage that Tinker and Andy's on. You know it. You know it. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. I'm in love with you, girl. Waka, waka, walk. I'm in love with you, girl. Waka, waka, walk. Waka, 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 flocka, flame. All right, let me see if I can do this. Get my actual camera back to where it belongs and start using my actual camera again. Of course, I don't know what it's going to look like since I messed with it. But let's see, because I'd rather use this one. Hello. Oh, that's a wide angle. Well, we'll stick with it for now. Hey, guys. Wow. Talk about being able to see my setup. Ugh. Fix that. Get it out of the way. Yeah, wow. That is a wide angle that I usually don't use when I'm streaming. Usually it's closer in. Do you guys like this wide angle better, or do you like it when it's tighter in? Let me know. Glad I wore pants. I'm glad I wore pants. Let me just see what happens if I change the definition standard. Not a damn thing. Okay. High def. Okay, there we go. Nothing apparently happens when you change the definition. Man, I don't know if I should stream like this or I don't know. I'll probably go back to a little tighter close-up shot of stuff. Nice, yeah. Oh, it's a wide angle. Trying to lose a little bit of the gut. Maybe that's why I don't do it. So, boy, you can see my studio is not that much of a mess behind me. Back over there, those boxes, those are all trash. Those brown boxes. I need to get rid of those. The definition changed, in my opinion. No, I mean, it was 1080 when I was streaming looking down. So I don't think it changed any, but I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I'm not sure. Let's see. Wide angle is cool. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, I guess. All right. Let me do this. Standard. Oh, about the standard. Got it. All right. Let's see. Share screen. Oh, I chose the wrong screen. Stop sharing. Why am I being a dummy? Nice studio setup. Thank you. Oh, look, the sun's finally coming out. So, guys, of course, we have KOR-DRATH, A Christmas Miracle, the children's book. It's perfect for young readers. It's perfect for you to read to your young reader. And if you're young at heart, you will totally enjoy this 24-page Christmas story Dennis and I are doing with KOR-DRATH and Adriana. It's a fun little story. KOR-DRATH basically has to go on a quest on Christmas Eve to get Adriana a last-minute Christmas gift because the big dummy forgot to get her one. Join him on his quest as he meets new friends along the way. Of course, there's also a coloring and activity book, the whole book in its black and white goodness with the text, with additional pages of connect the dots, word search, crosswords. And then we're doing an adult version. What's an adult version? An adult version is we swapped out pages of the kids' book and put in adult pages where there's lots of blood and gore for the adults. The story is the same. He's still in search of a Christmas gift, but more for the adult. So, guys, go check this out. I'm formatting the books for the printer now because we want to get these to the printer and in your hands by Christmas. 35 backers, $1,574, guys. Go check it out. And of course, KOR-DRATH, The Awakening, 64 pages of badass ball busting action for fans of Conan, Dungeons and Dragons, Game of Thrones. If you like that stuff, you are going to love KOR-DRATH. He's a barbarian. His whole tribe was slaughtered. He is teaming up with his sorceress girlfriend, Adriana, to help save the Shattered Reach and save her tribe, the Black Eagles, from the evils of Vordoom. We busted through the $50,000 stretch goal, which means every single backer is now going to get the Vordoom playable character card, art on the front by myself and Dan Lawless, and on the back, all of Vordoom's stats. So you can play him in our new role-playing game module, which, of course, has art on the cover by Bart Sears and Dan Lawless right there. And guys, our next stretch goal, we are making this into a print. You asked, we answered. The next stretch goal, this fine piece of art by Bart Sears and Dan Lawless, will be a print that you can hang up in your room or do whatever it is you would like to with the print. So guys, go check this out. The link for both of these campaigns are in the description below. The one campaign, let me see something here. The Christmas campaign is also available on Kickstarter. So if you would rather back on Kickstarter, go do it, knock yourself out. Passmaster Dan says, nice, well, Apex, nice wide angle. Passmaster is feeling the stress of those wooden shelves. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be those wooden shelves either. So anyhow, guys, go back. KOR-DRATH, The Awakening. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. We got the new Adriana t-shirt up. We've got the original OG KOR-DRATH shirt. Right there. You can get, so go check it out, guys. You will not want to miss this campaign. The next stretch goal is going to be a print of the cover 2. There it is, the game module, just the art, not the whole cover, of course, just the art that Dan and Bart did. That will be a print. So guys, go check it out. Of course, thank you for joining me this afternoon or this morning. Oh, it's almost noon. It's lunchtime. What? I'm starving. I need to go get me some lunch. Yo. Thank you for joining me. 3 p.m. tomorrow on the Dennis and Andy show. Genuine Comics, Dave Brink is our guest. So join us as we talk to Dave. It's been a long time since we've talked to him. He does a great comic that we're going to talk about. So join us tomorrow. Until then, let's listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger Fragga in the KOR-DRATH trailer. Bye-bye, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share.
An ancient evil awakened to slaughter his family. A mythical quest was revealed. Treacherous perils await. Lovers bound by destiny. Darkness gathers as a new game begins. One man's rage will shape worlds. KOR-DRATH, The Awakening. Only on Indiegogo. Back it now!
I'm bringing sexy back. I'm bringing sexy back.